a backstory. All right. This story is about a company called Blackview Systems Limited. Blackview Systems Limited. I want you to follow this story carefully because all the lessons that we're going to be talking about today, as it relates to demystifying the role of a business analyst, is going to be based on these scenarios that we're going to cover with this backstory. All right. So the story is about a company called Blackview Systems Limited. Now, Blackview Systems Limited provides installation and support of security systems. Their customers are residential clients, people who live in residential estates, and they have corporate clients as well. So businesses that need CCTV, secure doors, fire alarm systems, and all the things that involve security systems. That's what they do. So Blackview provide installation, so they help to install the security system, and then they also maintain it, so they support it. So please follow the story, and then so you can participate in the conversations that we are going to be having. Now, over the years, Blackview's business has grown, but they have some challenges right now. They are going through some difficult times. The difficult time is not because there's no business. No, they are getting more customer projects. They are getting more installation done, but because they have increased the number of sites that they have installed different security systems. What that means is that the number of or the volume of support that they have to provide has also increased and multiplied. So customers are calling, their support office or the customer service desk, and they are making requests and saying, okay, we need help, or maybe my camera is not working, or my security door at the alarm is blowing off. I need somebody to help me put it off. I can't seem to get it off. Or we had a burglary incident last week or yesterday. We need somebody to come and fix. So the customer service desk is getting so many calls. Yeah, so many calls. Follow the story, okay? Customers are now unhappy, unfortunately. The customers of Blackview Systems are very, very unhappy. And understandably so, because there are now so much backlog, a growing backlog of unresolved complaints and issues. The customers are not happy because their issues are not being resolved on time. Some of them are not even getting any resolution at all. So this is not good for Blackview's business. I mean, as you can imagine, the technical support team at Blackview System, this customer service desk, the guys are overwhelmed. They're always firefighting to keep things under control. Between the phone is always ringing constantly, 24/7, and then they are trying to resolve the issues. Some of them they can resolve online. Some of them they have to deploy an engineer to go and fix the issues, and then they sort of struggle to prioritize issues, to prioritize whether we should be focusing on the phone calls that are coming through, or we should actually go and look at all the 1,000 issues and complaints that have been sent to us in our inbox, or how do we prioritize? They are really struggling. The technical support team are overwhelmed, and they are always firefighting. I mean, you can picture this scenario as you follow this story. Now, the CEO of Blackview has now come to us, all of us on this webinar. Would you share your opinion on thoughts on how to address this massive problem? Because, of course, it's going to be affecting their business reputation. Now, customers will start telling themselves. So if you go to the screen, you'll be able to type, what do you think that the CEO should do in order to address this problem? This is where I need your input. I need your input. Please feel free. Type on the screen. Type on the screen. I want to see your answers on the screen. Go to menti.com and type on the screen. Someone says, I can't see any slide. Okay. If you go to menti.com, I'll put the link again in the comments. Menti.com, and this is the code 7298 9020. 7298 9020. Okay, you'll be able to see the slides. Now, if I can't see anybody typing, if you are following me, what would you share with the CEO of Blackview based on what I said to you? Okay, somebody said increase the workforce, both technical and customer service. Good idea. Good idea. I want more ideas, please, more suggestions. The CEO of Blackview might be watching. This is not a real story, by the way. It's made up. So it's made up. So don't think that there's nobody watching and anything. It's just all made up. So please feel free, share your thoughts, type in the comment. I can see some comments coming through. Somebody just wrote another suggestion. They need an app for scheduling. They need customer service as well. Thank you for sharing. Somebody else suggested to the CEO. So the CEO of Blackwood, somebody else is suggesting to you now, do a root cause analysis. I like that. Increasing the workforce is imperative, meaning they have to increase the workforce. Okay. Somebody also said automation of some of the processes, training, retraining. Amazing, amazing. Creating a CRM to improve and reorientate the customer service unit and employ more staff. All right, I can see the comments coming through. Thank you. I'll spend 15 more seconds on this. Employ more hands for the job. Ensure a well-structured customer service desk. Thank you. Using agile methodology to prioritize tasks with the help of a business analyst. Wow. Comments. Wow. So many comments are coming through. Keep them coming. I'll try and cover them. Somebody also said, I think it would be better if on-site engineers would be assigned specific areas. If a customer complains through the phone, an agent should be able to assign a specific engineer to an area code. Wow. I love this comment. I can see some really, really smart, intelligent people here. Somebody said, using agile methodology to prioritize tasks with the help of a business analyst. I love that. The team can use Jira or Azure DevOps to follow up on assigned tasks. Yes, that is so right. Strengthen the customer service, do some outsourcing, increase workflow, develop CRM tool with ticketing ability, ensure technology to automatically receive complaints, self-service, and technology will help prioritize complaints. Somebody said data analysis first. Tell me about this. To review the number of calls per period and also break into different buckets based on the time and efforts to resolve. An incident management tool is then required to manage incidences, which will display the performance of each staff. I love that. I love that. Okay, thank you all so much. These are all really great suggestions. I will make sure that the fictitious CEO of Blackview Systems sees this, okay? Let's move on. Now, this is what they've decided to do. After a series of meetings and workshops, Blackview now decides to buy a ticketing software. The system is to manage issues. Yeah, they even found the preferred software vendor. Yeah, so that means some of the suggestions you made were actually taken on board, and they've now decided they're going to buy a ticketing software system to manage incidences, complaints, issues, and all that stuff. So thank you for all the suggestions. And in fact, they've gone ahead to find a vendor, a software developer that can help them to build or supply this software, ticketing software system. So there's progress. They're doing something about this. Now, I need your help again. How would the company ensure that their objectives are met by the system, this ticketing software they're going to buy? Many of you have suggested that you buy a system. So how would they ensure that the system works? How would they ensure that they are getting a lot of complaints from customers? They are firefighting the customer service desk. So go ahead and type again, please. I need you to interact with me, engage with me. What do you think needs to be done such that this software, because it's not 100% guaranteed that when they implement this software that they'll get it right and the software will work. Yeah. So how would they ensure that this software they want to implement would actually address those problems, those challenges, those business problems that they found? So I need you to interact with me again. Give me your ideas. Due diligence. Thank you. Somebody said due diligence. Another person said set up a tracking record. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Set up a tracking record. I'm loving the comments. Loving the comments. I want to hear more. I want to hear more from you. Set KPIs before buying the software and review after a certain period. Somebody said also the team should be trained on how to use the system. Nice. I like that. I like that. I'm clapping for all these comments. Somebody says proof of concept. Provide acceptance criteria and user stories. Thank you. That sounds like a business analyst speaking. Use case models of existing user experiences. This is lovely. Somebody said the system should be configured to receive tickets, assign, and then monitor solution resolution time. Good, 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 good. Let me take one or two more. KPI will also be analyzed. Somebody says return tickets inclusive. They should conduct a fit for purpose test. I like that. I've not heard about that before though, but that sounds like a very smart thing to do, to conduct a fit for, I mean, that sounds to me like a proof of concept, doesn't it? But anyway, really, really good suggestions. If you still want to type, feel free to type. I can take one more before I move on. Somebody is typing in the comment. Please don't type in the comments. Go to the slides and type. That is where your comments will show on the screen. The slide is on menti.com and the code is 72989020, as you can see on my screen. Wow, I'm getting more proof of concept first. Yes, yes, lovely. Now let's move on. Let's move on for the purpose of our time. Everything that you have all suggested, everything that people have said on this screen, like tracking record, due diligence, proof of concept, user stories, configuration of the system, KPIs, and many, many, many other things that they can do to ensure that this system works. It's all about requirements. Yeah, it's all about requirements, meaning requirements, 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 and requirements. And I say this because business requirements are important because they establish an agreement and a shared understanding between software engineering teams and business stakeholders. If you think about our scenario, Blackview systems, they are the business stakeholders. They are the customer. They are the one buying. They are paying for this software. The software provider or the vendor who is going to build or create this ticketing solution for them, they are software teams. They are developers. Okay? So between those two stakeholders, something that binds them together is the requirements. Yeah, because the requirements can establish a way for them to understand themselves, to say, this is what I want, and the developer will know this is what I need to give to you based on what you've requested for. Yeah, and it will help them to clearly define project objectives, because that becomes a project, and then the implementation approach that they will take. What are requirements? For those who are wondering, okay, it's all about requirements. Requirements basically convey the expectations of the users. The users in this sense will be the customer service desk, I believe, the people on the call with my kind of headset, the managers of the call center, the CEO and the salespeople who are dealing with customers who are hungry every day. Requirements need to convey the expectations of the users from the software. They can be obvious or hidden, known or unknown, expected or unexpected from a client's view. So if you look at it, one requirement may lead to several specifications, which would then lead to what they will now create as test and code which will then become something that they can implement and start using. Okay, so without requirements, there can't be any specification. Without specification, there can be code. There cannot be any code. To developers cannot do anything. Without the code, there is nothing to test and use that it works. So you can see where requirements are. It's all about requirements. What I said, all about requirements. Now, some of you might also be wondering, Victor, what are you talking about? Yes, we get it now. Requirements, specifications is the key that binds both of them together. But requirements are also then produced by business analysts. Okay, so you see where the business analysts come in. The business analysts produce requirements which clearly state the business needs and align them with the business processes, meaning what processes are involved in the work that Blackview customer service desk perform. Do they have an email address inbox that is monitored 247? How are they assigning those issues to their engineers who go to site to fix the problems? How are they relating and interacting with their customers who are complaining and they want issues to be resolved very quick? Is there a process for that? Is there a process to confirm after the issue have been resolved to check with the customer that the customers are very happy and things are going okay? You know, there's so many processes that can, we can get out of this whole thing around Blackview systems challenges. Okay, but the business analyst is responsible to bring those together. Okay, a common understanding between stakeholders and software team is required because if you think about it, yeah, the business stakeholders, they speak a different language. The CEO of Blackview or the customer service, all they understand is that a camera is not working, somebody needs to fix it. All they understand is that a customer is in London, West London, and they need somebody deployed there and they can get that issue resolved quickly. All they know is that there's a fire alarm or fire burglary incident that needs attention, 55 kilometers away. They don't understand anything about what is the line of code that would make the ticketing software work. They don't understand that. So the business people are speaking their business language. They are speaking in their own business domain. All right? The language they speak is business domain. The software programmers, the developers, they are speaking technology. They understand technology. You need to give them, something that they can use to turn into code. That's what they understand. They write in programming languages. Okay? The requirements helps to bring these two things together in such a way that they can talk and work together and achieve a common objective. Okay? The function of business analysis is not only just to translate between, the IT, which is software, and non-IT, which is business world, but they also help customers to discover their own needs. Imagine somebody suggested, if you remember when we were asking suggestions for the CEO of Blackview. So I'm just going to have a sip of water. There were suggestions like they need to employ more people, or they need to set KPIs. In fact, somebody suggested they should do a data analysis first to understand what are the most biggest issues and how to prioritize them, and then set KPIs and all that. That is nothing to do with software development. That's just a business issue. So as business analysts, our job is not just about writing requirements or creating specification documents or trying to connect the two worlds of IT and non-IT, but also we need to spend time with business stakeholders to actually understand, what is the root cause of the problem, because sometimes what they even think is a problem is actually not the problem. So we help our customers, our business users, our business stakeholders to discover their own needs a lot. That's part of the world. So our job really as business analysts is about bridging the divide. The primary task of the BA is to figure out what the customer or the end user is trying to express, what is on their mind, and this requires a lot of empathy. If the BA needs to use a lot of intuition, they have to be able to improvise, and they also need a big loads of patience, because working with people and trying to understand and break down and deep dive into what exactly is the root cause of the problems or the challenges they are having requires a lot of patience and empathy. Okay, so that's very, very important as business analyst. Now, I need you to tell me something before I move on. I want to talk about a couple of things, but whatever it is you do right now, can you come to the screen? I want to know the kind of people on this call I'm working with today. I've told you about myself, so I don't need your name. Tell me what you do. What's your current job title? Go to menti.com and enter your job title. Whatever your job is called, it doesn't matter. And if you have multiple job titles, just enter everything. Just enter it one by one. Whatever you're called, marketer, salesman, businessman, developer. Yeah, just give it to me and enter it on the screen. I'm waiting. I can see comments. Research analyst. Okay, amazing. I can see a research analyst on the call today. That's good. We have a chief operating officer. Wow, amazing. Amazing. There's a comment in the chat that says the link keeps breaking. What could be wrong? Okay, I'm not quite sure. Is it the link to my video feed? Can everyone hear me? If you can hear me, say yes. But I can still see people typing and entering on the screen, so people can hear me. Oh, amazing. Thank you for confirming. Okay, that's good. That's good. So people can still hear me. Cool. So if you go to the link and just say what you do, I can see a business analyst. I can see a project manager here, branch sales manager, a budding business analyst. Welcome, welcome. You're on the right call. You're on the right call. If you're a budding business analyst, you're on the right call. International trade officer. I love that. Fish farmer. Wow. Lovely. Lovely. You wonder what a fish farmer will be doing on this kind of call, but you'll be surprised that we've used the scenario of black view systems. The fish farmer also, you might have similar scenario where you can adopt a lot of lessons from this call to your business. You can see a lot of suggestions already if you've been here from the beginning. We're going to talk about a bit more now. Thank you all for telling me. I can see Scrum Master, Project Manager, bank operations, product conceptualization and design. Lovely, lovely. Okay, it's good. So I'm sure the kind of audience I'm speaking to, so that I want to be sure that I'm pitching my thoughts and what I'm sharing with you at the right level. So I have a good balance. I have a pharmacist on the call as well. Wow, this is good. I love this mix of audience because then we can always interact together. Okay, let's go. What I want to tell you now is, what does a typical day look like in the life of a business analyst? A typical day in the life of a business analyst. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because there's a budding business analyst here. There are people here who are business analysts who might even have a fair idea of what that already looks like. But I think it's worth covering that just to touch on it. Now, this is very generic. So typical day, generically speaking, yeah, you have to join project team or calls. So in fact, at Waymaker Digital, we have our daily calls for the projects first thing in the morning. 9 o'clock to 9:15 a.m., everybody's on the call and everybody's sharing and giving their updates on what is going on their project and what they're going to be working on for the day and any blockers or issues that you have. So as a business analyst, you would attend, your project team calls. You will set up a requirement workshop at some point. Remember we talked about the fact that it's all about requirements. So the ability to set up requirements workshops where you can see the lady sketching on the board and they're trying to understand, a problem area. That's a typical day of a BA. The other thing is identifying who should be involved in the project and to what level they should be involved. It's one thing to identify stakeholders. It's another thing to be able to map the stakeholders to the right level of engagement and communication and whatnot. So identifying and mapping stakeholders is another thing. Of course, creating requirements, that one is a no-brainer. You create requirements, whether you're creating requirements as user stories or you are creating use cases or drawing process diagrams or doing context diagrams or whatever it is you're doing, you're going to be creating requirements typically. And of course, if you work in an agile environment, which we'll talk about later on, you should be updating your product backlog with those requirements. Okay. So that's typically what a day would look like for a business analyst. And of course, every day is not the same. So if you are thinking of becoming a business analyst, or if you're already a business analyst, if you enjoy, variety, meaning different things come at you different day, you can have a day where you're starting your day with an agenda. By the middle of the day, that agenda is totally different and you're going in a totally different way. It's something that you need to keep up with in terms of energy and attention and focus, of course, and you'll be attending project meetings. Okay, so that's a typical day for business analysts. And of course, you can find yourself producing reports, writing updates, and sharing updates with your team or with your stakeholders, as it were. Now, another point I want to cover on the webinar today is, hang on, I am not technically savvy, or some people say I'm not technically savvy, or some people say I don't have a technical background. So I'm not sure if I should be working as a business analyst. Okay, it's a myth. All right, it's a myth. You do not need to have a technical background in order to work as a business analyst. Okay, you don't need it. Of course, having the technical knowledge is advantageous, but it's not required. Okay, it's not required. There are much more bigger or important or valuable skills that a business analyst should have than having technical skills. In fact, I've seen business analysts without any technical skills excelling and doing well. Many people that I have trained, many people that we have coached, many people that we've worked with. So it's not required. Okay, so let's settle that. Of course, if you have some technical background, there's an advantage. Of course, there's benefits to it, but it's not compulsory. Okay, you can come from management, finance, IT, healthcare. Somebody's a pharmacist on this call. You can be a salesperson or from marketing. It doesn't matter what your background is. You'll be able to work. In fact, when one of the training code materials we have at Momentum says something like, everybody, regardless of what you do, you're a BA, because everybody does something close to being a business analyst. Now, I want to share some tips with you. If you're already a business analyst, you'll find some of this beneficial and valuable. If you're looking to become a business analyst and you want to launch a business analysis career, you'll find some of them also very, very valuable. So these are practical ideas to launch a business analysis career. Now, the first thing I want to say is you need to master how business analysis is planned. Okay? This is a very basic fundamental. How do you plan a business analysis activity? See that guy? Somebody is talking to him. A business stakeholder or a CEO or a client is telling him and dumping all his mind, all his ideas on him. But the guy looks at it and goes, "How I'm recording this? How do I make sure that I'm capturing everything he has said so I can go away and then expand on it?" All right. Now, what he's doing is using a whiteboard, for example, and how he's doing that is writing it down, on sticky notes, all the things, all the requirements they're telling him, is making a note of them. You need to understand how to plan business analyst activity and what is expected of business analyst, in what format, how do they expect you to deliver what you want to deliver? Are they expecting you to create a process diagram? Is this what a setup? Are you expected to build a backlog? Of course, you most likely have to do that. Are you going to be doing a lot of process mapping? Are you going to be creating use case diagrams? Are you going to be doing data analysis where you have to extract information from data? Are you going to be creating reports? Are you going to be writing? What exactly what is expected deliverable from you? Okay, you need to understand that. And that is the starting point. Okay, In order to be able to launch a career as a business analyst, it's important that you are able to understand how to plan business analysis. How do they plan business analysis, and how is it? What are the expected deliverables? Okay. The next thing I want to say is, in order to launch a career as a business analyst, every problem that, if you look at black view systems, for example, yeah, they always have, there's always the context of business challenges can only be solved in three areas. It can only either be a process improvement, or an organizational change, or a technology change. Okay? So, what is the context of the business change that I am involved with? Why are we doing this project? Are you following me? Why are we doing this project? You need to understand that. You need to understand context, always context, 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 context. What is the context of the problem? If somebody calls you today and says, I want to offer you a business analysis job, after you have the first 5 minutes, you should understand what exactly is the problem. What is the project trying to address? Yeah? Is this a process change? Is this an organizational change? And is this a technology change? It can only be one of those three. Whatever solution that a change initiative is bringing can only be in those three areas: process, organizational, or technology. All right? Understand the context, understand the why. If you are able to get to that very quickly, it helps you to be able to be efficient as a business, because then whatever it is you're doing, you'll be able to tailor your ideas, your activities, your deliverables, your work. You'll be hitting the nail, on the head. Like they say, you'll be hitting the right spot with your output, because you understand why. You know what exactly it is, the context of this project. Okay. So whatever it is you need to do, you can do this. I mean, there's so many materials on the internet that you can read. There are techniques to learn the techniques to understand context. 5 whys, root cause analysis, PESTLE. There's so many, 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 many tools that you can just Google how to understand the context of business change. You find a lot of materials from some websites like BCS or IIBA. They will give you that idea. Now, this is a big one for me, right? And I think that's why we're here. It's very important to get business analysis coaching and mentoring. And I'm saying this as somebody who has, been to so many trainings, trained so many people, coached so many people, and still coaching and mentoring so many people, not just in business analysis. Trainings and short boot camps don't always cut it. Always. That's what I said. Okay. You can do online training, you can read materials. It might be sufficient. Let's say you have some relevant, let's say, for example, you are already the head of, look at Blackview, the scenario, to store our backstory. Blackview, if you are the head of customer service, you already have the understanding of the area. You are now on this training now, and your company wants to implement a ticketing system, and you already understand what business analysis is. All you need to do is just do the business analysis training and begin to apply it to your scenario. You might be able to excel because you already have relevant experience in that domain, in that area. But that's not always the case. No, in fact, that's very, very slim. Those are very, very slim chances. So it's important that as a business, if you're trying to launch a career, get mentoring and get coaching. It's really, there's a lot of value in doing this. Okay. So get mentoring and get coaching. All right. Next one. This is about having industry knowledge. Now, you can join there's so many forums on the internet now, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, so many. It's important that as a business analyst, because often you will be working with the latest technology and business trends. You are going to be helping organizations to navigate through the change, and you need to be able to tailor your approach accordingly. It's important that you should be familiar with what happens on the market. Okay? For example, our backstory. Blackview system, they had a series of workshops in order to select a solution to the challenge that they had. Okay? Now, As a business analyst in that scenario, you have to do a lot of research in terms of what kind of ticketing systems are there, what kind of CRM systems can help us, and you have to balance it with your scenario, your circumstances in the business, the budget available for such implementation, and the capacity and resources to make it happen. Okay, so it's important that you understand be familiar with what is on the market, research, a lot of research, a lot of reading, and then connect, socialize, network. All right, because you have to be able to do that in order to understand the nature of the change that is going on within the organization. Okay, and I will cover quickly some challenges that business analysts face. Just go over this one very quickly. Communication is my number one. Communication, yeah. You think communication should be like easy peasy, but really, everything is based on communication, especially now that everything is remote. I'm here um, outside London, and I can see many people on this call from different parts of the world. Yeah, and you are here with me, interacting with me, engaging with me on this webinar using technology. Yeah, and I'm speaking to you, and you're responding back to me because you're understanding what I'm saying, and I'm understanding what you're saying. So, as a business analyst, one of your biggest, skills that you should master is communication at any level. That is okay. You need to have sound, verbal, and written communication. All right. Whether it's how to write emails, how to engage with people, how to read body language, how to read facial expressions, how to, understand politically speaking, all the things that relate to communication. Okay, is very, very important, and it can be I have found over the years, having done this for many, many years, that communication is one of the biggest challenges on any project. Okay, on any project, communication. If communication breaks down, everything falls apart. Everything falls apart. That's why, as an agile coach, one of the things that we encourage and preach is breaking silos. Breaking silos. Okay, breaking silos. The next one is your stakeholders don't often know what they even want. It's one thing when you're trying to help somebody to say, I'm trying to define a requirement. How do you currently do your ticketing or your customer service work? And they don't even know, or they're even telling you what they think, not even getting to the root, the bottom of the issues. Okay, so businesses are often characterized by ill-defined problems, and the job of a business analyst is to first define the problem, and then you can then begin to think about what kind of solution which you identify to address these problems. All right, so is a very, very essential challenge, or skill rather, that a business analyst should be able to distinguish between, they dump a lot of things on you, which one is relevant out of all the 10 things I've been told today, which ones do I just park and come back to later, is a very important skill to be able to distinguish. And then the other challenge is that multiple stakeholder needs and perspectives can be overwhelming. Imagine, sorry, this is I don't think it's as extreme as this picture, but this is like a book shop, a book market, or something like that. And sometimes it can feel like your stakeholders. Let's use our backstory again. The CEO will have his own requirements for the new system they want to implement. The finance manager will have his own requirements, or the finance team. The marketing team will have their own requirements. The people who are overwhelmed in the story, which are the customer service people, they have their own requirements. Yeah. As a business analyst, bringing all of these things together, you have to be able to process information that are dissimilar from multiple sources, and you have to create one or multiple or a few coherent stories to tell a story to say, this is, if we do this, it will take care of that, take care of that, take care of that, take care of that, and take care of that. That can be a challenge. Okay, so multiple stakeholder needs and perspectives can be quite overwhelming. And I think the last one here is when business analysts encounter political and conflict-oriented scenarios, where project stakeholders, some of them might even have their own hidden agendas. Yeah. So you as a business analyst, the finance director and the marketing director have their own hidden agendas. You are here to do your job and make sure that requirements are clear and well implemented to satisfy all solution needed to solve the problem. So you here need to be able to search for common language and important cues. So it's an interesting job. In fact, I like this definition here. Let me read it out. Someone tried to define a business analyst, and it says a business analyst is someone who does precision guesswork based on unreliable data provided by those of questionable knowledge. I love it. Yeah. So as a business analyst, you have to do precision guesswork based on unreliable information or data provided to you by people whose knowledge is even questionable. you know. So in fact, it says see wizard or magician. So businesses are compared to BAs are compared to magicians and wizards. Quite interesting. I find this very interesting. And I thought, no, this has to go on my slides as well. All right. Um, the last thing I want to cover are important BA skills. So number one is you need to be able to ask the right questions. I already said that. Being able to ask the right questions of the right person, the right stakeholder is very important. Okay. Listening is important. Ability to listen is important. Yeah. Understanding that business processes are not isolated, they are all connected. If somebody in finance doing their own finance system, marketing with their system, customer service with their system, at the end of the day, they are all connected into one organizational cross-functional system that delivers business objectives. So you need to understand that. It's very important. Okay. So even though you might be working in customer service, what is the impact of what I'm doing in customer service here? How does it impact on marketing? How does it impact on finance? How does it affect the overall, company objective, like the bottom line? Yeah. So those are the things you need perspective is important. Okay. And of course, you need to be able to gather requirements from all stakeholders instead of each stakeholder. You need to be able to bring people together. You can see this guy here is running a workshop using the sticky notes. You can do this virtually as well. And yeah, make sure you're getting every input from everybody, not just a few or each person. And lastly, of course, you need to apply what if thinking. You have to apply, like, what if everything you do, you have to question it. Yeah. What if you have a scenario or you have a story? What if this is not true? What then happens? Alternative thinking. All right. What if thinking? Okay. And lastly, replace assumptions with questions. Is the only stupid question, like I always say, is a question that is not asked. The only stupid question is a question that is not asked. No question is stupid. So don't assume. If you're making an assumption, turn that assumption into a question so that you can get an answer so that it's no longer an assumption. And lastly, how is momentum helping and changing the business analysis landscape? I'll tell you. If you go to www.joinmomentum.co.uk, Momentum is a done-for-you career acceleration program. The focus on Momentum, like I told you, is not just training. Of course, training is, if you can see on my screen, training is just one part of it. Yeah, we provided the training and certifications and whatnot. That's fine. But we are so big on practical experience. We are big on work shadowing. We are big on coaching. So you have weekly coaching calls. We are very big on a personalized career roadmap. We are very big on providing you resources and templates that allow you not to start from the scratch, that you can build on from wherever you are. We help you to build your CV. We don't tell you how to write a CV. No. Momentum is not about, we tell you how to write your CV to that. No. Momentum does it for you. Momentum builds your LinkedIn profile for you. Momentum gives you a platform to tell your story, to connect yourself from where you're coming from to where you're going. Momentum builds on your previous or past knowledge or experience and helps you to scale into where you're trying to go, to tell a credible story, a journey of transition from one position into another desired career position, whether that is business analysis, product, user research, design, whatever. Yeah, that is what momentum is all about. And our focus, our mission is to help and continue to support the underrepresented people. Yeah, Black people, minority people, Africans. We want to help to make sure that we have more representation of these people. Women, yeah, women, underrepresented groups. Our focus is to help them to get more representation for these people within the technology space. That is the mission for Momentum. All right. So we are so big on all of these things, and we help you. So it's done for you. Literally, you just need to bring yourself and bring your commitment, bring your energy, and bring your time. That's it. Every other thing, you get it. All right. We're not going to tell you to start going to look for this, look for that. No, no, no. Everything is in house. Everything is handed to you, and you're able to just basically, like I said, bring your energy and bring yourself. Everything else is done for you. How do I jump on Momentum? Of course, you can jump on a discovery call. Yeah, with a discovery call, then you do onboarding. If you're happy with the discovery call, that is, everything goes well. You sign up to the program. Of course, then they onboard you, and then as soon as they onboard you, you start your training and your certifications, and you start work shadowing and joining calls and listening to what's going on. The child, what people find is on Momentum, when you start, a lot of people think, oh, I want to start in March, I want to start in April, I want to start in July. There's no cohort. That's the other thing. There's no cohort. There's not, like I said, it's not a training program. It's a career acceleration program. So there is no cohort or a start date. No, it's running. So you jump on the train or you don't jump on the train. That's how it works. You can start any day, anytime. And once you start, they give you access to some of your training, and then they start building your career roadmap for you, of course, based on your skills and assessment, then certifications, and of course, work shadowing. And then they begin to give you plan of your career. You have milestones, yeah, that go from milestone 1 all the way to 4. I'm not going to cover all of that on this call, but yeah, that's how Momentum is designed. So that's everything I've got on this call today. I want to go, I will go back to the chat now. If you have questions, please, this is the time to ask me questions. That's the end of my slide. Thank you very much for listening and staying with me for this long. If you have questions, feel free go. We can leave the slides now. That's fine. If you come back to the chat on the call, yes, let's use the chat button, and I will see if any questions, I'll try and take them. Let me say, type your questions here if you have any. Okay. Okay, somebody asked the question, does the business analyst have to be trained in coding, programming? No. That's the answer. No. Big no. You don't have to. In fact, you don't even need to know how to code. It's not necessary, and it's not a prerequisite. Of course, if you know how to code, you can then become a business. It will help you if you already know how to code and you want to become a business analyst. Of course, then you can. But it doesn't matter. If it's not relevant at all. Anyone can become a business analyst. Anyone, as long as everything I've said so far, you understand and you are happy in terms of starting your day, the typical day of a BA. Some of those things I said. If you're happy with all of that, you can become a BA. All right. Someone said, is domain knowledge required? I take that to mean, do you need to have a domain knowledge before you can become a BA? No, it's not required. It's not necessary. But like I said earlier, if you have it, you might have an advantage. But even at that, even if you have domain knowledge and you don't have some of those core skills I mentioned earlier, you will still not excel. So domain knowledge can be picked up like that. There are so many techniques to do that. If you have the core skill set of a BA. What is the impact for a successful business analyst? Oh, right. I thought we covered that. So the impact for a successful business analyst is actually the ability to connect the dots. If you remember, I think I had a. Let me see if I can go to that slide. There was a slide where you are the bridge builder, something like that. So that's your impact, really. The ability to yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So you are bridging the divide. That is the impact of your work. When you see your software development team producing outputs that are satisfying the needs of your customers or your users or your client or your stakeholders, you are doing a good job of as a business analyst. That's the impact of your job. So sometimes as business analysts, you are doing the great work, but you are not being praised for the great work. That's the other thing. That's the other dynamic of the role. You are doing excellent job, but yeah, you might not be taking the credit for it, but it's all about the team. Okay. Someone said, how does a business analyst play in an agile and safe space? So that's that question. You've mixed a couple of things together, but I'll try and untangle them. Okay, to answer the question. So let me go back to my last slide, which is questions time, so that I'm not confused. Okay, so this is where we are. Ayodeji said, how does a business analyst play in an agile space? So I would break it to the way you've demarcated agile and safe. I like that. So I would untangle it that way. Agile and safe are two separate things. Okay. So let's be clear with that first. All right. So let's talk about how does a business analyst function in an agile environment. Okay. So the business analyst role functions as part of a team in an agile environment. For those, if you look at one of the slides, I talked about the ability to be able to communicate. You understand that what is the change about? Is this a process change? Is this an organizational change? Is it a technology change? Whatever the change is about, the project you're involved in. If it's about agile transformation, for example, then you will find that you have to be able to speak the language of agile. You need to understand what exactly is the agile mindset. What is the agile manifesto? Yeah. What are the principles of agile? Okay. And then as a business analyst, how do you now translate the execution of your deliverables as a BA using that mindset, using that framework of agile, using that principle of agile to be able to collaborate and work in that environment? That is how you play as a BA in an agile space. Now, SAFE is one of the frameworks of agile. Okay, so there are multiple frameworks of agile, like Scrum is the most popular one. There's Kanban, yeah. There's DSDM, there's SAFE, there's LESS, there's so many other ones, yeah. XP and all that. So SAFE is just one framework of agile, and SAFE is basically talking about scaled agile. So meaning having more than one team, small team doing agile, but multiple teams doing agile, and how they all work together to create delivery at scale. Yeah. So that is SAFE. So if you understand the SAFE model and SAFE framework, all you need to do is the BA role is the BA role. It doesn't matter whether you are working in waterfall or working in agile, or you are working in engineering, or you're working in NHS hospital. It's still about the requirements. That's the underlying, that's ground zero. Okay, it's about the requirements. So it doesn't really matter. Your job is to say, I want to be able to understand the needs of the business, translate them into requirements, work with developers to execute them, make sure they are delivered properly, and communicate that to the business. That is, you need to close that loop. Whether you do that in engineering space or SAFE or whatever, it really doesn't change a lot. What matters is you now need to translate your approach. Your approach will now be determined by the principles and the practices and the culture. Exactly, that's what I'm looking for. The culture of the environment where you find yourself. All right. The next question there says, how does data analytics, Power BI, SQL Digital market. There's quite a lot here. Excuse me. And CRM skills impact the growth of a BA. Okay, let me see if I let me see if I understand the question. So the question is, how does data analytics, which is Power BI, SQL, and some of those things, those are just tools. So data analysis or data analytics is a separate discipline from business analysis. They are not the same. Okay, so that's number one. How does that contribute to the skill of a BA? As a BA, if you are able to use those tools, it's a good thing, because what that means is that you can work on a data project, or you can even decide to become a data analyst. So my point is, there's no direct impact on your growth whether you choose to master those tools or not, because if you think about it, as a business analyst, your job is the translation of business speak to IT speak, IT speak to business speak. Your tool you use is irrelevant. It depends on what the organization is using, or what matters, or what is being applied in your environment, in the culture. So it really doesn't matter. Digital marketing, that's a different discipline entirely as well. It's a different domain. It has nothing to do with business analysis. If you know how to do digital marketing as a business analyst, kudos to you, because what that means is that if you go to a company that is a digital agency or a digital marketing project, you can actually use those skills to execute and succeed in that environment, right? So that's the correlation I can see. CRM skills, the same thing. CRM is just a software. There's so many CRM software: Salesforce, Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics, HubSpot, many, hundreds and hundreds of them in the market. If you know one or two of them, or the most popular ones of them, yes, people who have those kind of problems or trying to implement those kind of CRMs, they will find you valuable and they will bring you on board. So that's the impact, and I can see when you will know these tools can have on you as a BA. If you know these tools, you will be attractive to the people who have problems in those spaces. I don't know if that answers your question, but I think that's the way. I think that's what you're trying to ask anyway. All right. Thank you so much. Wow, we are over the hour. Oh, thank you. Okay, that's the question. Okay, I answered your question correctly. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Somebody said they want the link to this recording. Yes, the link to the recording will be made